We can't be the guys that's going to be timid and not knowing what's going on. You play hard, you play together. I mean, that's all we ask.
This is what we all have to do.
Be locked in, focus, just be disciplined, all right?
Now I feel like Kyrie, I'ma have to take the shot. If they tryna call me dog, I gotta hit the block. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. I got my black hoodie with a rollie on. Eating pasta like Corleone, I don't got time for no fake boy. If you got the money, gon' show me some. I got 2 whips and I'm self-paid. Never got help, bro, I'm self-made. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. Hey, what up, say? Home up in the studio, so I'm locked in. My stock going way up, I got options. Yeah, they fine, but stop playing, you not him. Wait, the numbers going up.
Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, as we get ready to take you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here locally in the Central Texas area, but from all around the nation. We want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today on Centex Primetime. We also want to thank everybody that watched with us this weekend. We had a full weekend here at Centex Sports Network. Friday, we had the district championship game with University and Brenham. Saturday, we had a volleyball game and 2 basketball games. So we definitely want to thank everybody that tuned in with us this past weekend. We'll have another full week coming up. We got basketball on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, so make sure you guys are tuned in for that as well. And then we'll still have another edition of Friday Night Flex this week. We'll see if we're going to be on the road again or will we be here in studio. We'll be letting you guys know that shortly. But once again, thanks everybody watching. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe, like, and share this stream. We're just going to give you guys a short episode here today as we recap this last football weekend, plus get you guys ready for what everybody's ready to watch tonight. The Cowboys versus the Cardinals. That game coming on at 7:15 over on ESPN. Well, folks, we're going to jump straight into it. We got a lot to talk about here as we recap the football weekend. Joining me here at the table, we've got the WISD Hall of Famer, former Texas Tech Red Raider and San Diego Charger, Mr. Wayne Walker in the building with us. Wayne, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Jalen? Man, let's get it going, man.
Yes,
talk
sir.
about a
Yes,
little
sir.
football, huh?
Yeah, got a lot of football to talk about. I want to start right with the game that we just saw each other at this past weekend on Friday, and that is University versus Brenham, as University was able to pull out a victory almost in surprising fashion. I thought University had a great chance of being able to win this game, but Wayne, we got a front row seat to see University dominate this game from start to finish. From the opening kickoff, University came out focused right away. They scored on their first drive, got a stop, scored right again, got another stop, scored again. They took off from there. It was 21-0 quick. Seemed like Brenham almost didn't even know what was going on the way that these guys were playing. But University on the brink of closing out their first district title outright since 1956. So a historic night that we got to watch up close and personal. Wayne, what do you think about University and the way that they handled Brenham this past weekend?
Total dominance, man. They stars came out to play. London Smith, Savoy, they did their job on offense. And what you want as a defense, man, they played gang, like it was a gang effort. It was everybody on defense played well as they stopped them on 4th down maybe 3 or 4 times during that game. And, man, both of those phases of the game, offense and defense, man, it was total dominance. And they played really great. And if they can play like that throughout, this University football team could go a long way. But first they have to get it done this weekend, Friday, against a Colleen Ellison team where they control their own destination and they can have their own outright district title since 1956. So that's what they want to do. You know, when you play football, you have to take it one game at a time. Yeah. And this is a game that's on the schedule this week. So if they can go out and play like they did last week, they will take care of business easily.
Yeah, if they can do and replicate the same way that they played, man, these guys are going to be dangerous, not only in district, but going forward in the playoffs. When we were even talking about it on Friday, these guys play like that. I think Friday we saw the top level that University is capable of playing that.
Yeah,
When they're executing on both sides, defense was forcing turnovers, was getting after the quarterback, making timely fourth down stops, offense clicking. Savoy threw for 300-plus yards in this game. London Smith was unguardable again. And then we saw others chip in when they had multiple running backs get into the end zone.
Right.
They used their tight end a lot in that game, especially on first down. It helped them pick up chunk yardage. If they're playing like that, this University team is going to be dangerous.
Yeah. Like I said, man, it was a total team effort, man. Those two phases of their team, offense and defense, they played great. Defense, the three levels, their defensive line, their linebackers, and their defensive backs all came to play. And like I said, Savoy and London, those guys are they're two big stars. They produced, they came out, and they took care of business. And the only knock against University was their special teams. Man. We seen like a 5-yard punt maybe. You know,
they only punted it a couple times in the whole game.
Yeah. But if they can work on those things, man, I can see this team going a long way.
Yeah, this University squad is going to be dangerous moving forward. When you got a guy that's a blue chip talent like London Smith, Wayne, and you can allude to this, you can go as far as these guys will take you, especially once you get into the playoffs. It's all about matchups at that point. If the other team don't have somebody that can guard London, University can go as far as this guy can take them. The defense was extremely solid, and that was supposed to be their calling card going into the season. Their defense is what they were going to lean on. And as the season has gone out, their defense has played better and better and better each and every week. Their DBs are getting after the ball, jumping passes. We got a chance to see them get after. The run game was held in check. That's really why Brenham couldn't do much. The run game was almost non-existent.
And that's what you want going into the season. And the longer you progress through the season, man, you want your defense to step up and play like that, man, because now as we get into wintertime, the elements take effect. So you're going to have wind. It's going to be cold. You may have rain. And you want your defense to be the dominant unit on your team.
Yeah, the defense has been playing great. And now that the offense is caught up to that, Savoy's been playing. I mean, he's playing the entire district.
Man,
he's played great football, 300-plus yards game, almost every single game in district. London is still unguardable. I mean, he's the guy out there that can break the game open as he did this past weekend against Brenham. And they did another good job of kind of holding out Brenham's top receiver, a guy that we know is getting a lot of offers. And this is the second time in a row that I've seen them. They did it against Belton as well. Really be able to take out a number one option. And that's big once you're going to the playoffs because everybody's going to have their version of their London Smith that they're going to try to get the ball to and score.
And the only difference between that is London Smith was beating double team.
Yeah, double team.
But then, Savoy was so clever that he was getting other guys involved too. Their tight end had a great game. Yeah. I mean, he saw some things and he's using his eyes. And man, like I said, if he can continue on that path, University is going to be dangerous. Yeah,
the U-Dogs are rolling on their way to their first district title since 1956. They play against Killeen Ellison where they got to close the deal this coming up Friday, but we definitely expect University to come out with the win. There were some really good games. Also in District 12, we go down to the 4A level. La Vega closed out against Conley 28-6. La Vega is right back where they were last year, man. These guys were in the championship game. I don't see how we don't expect them to get right back to the championship game or maybe around right before that in this exact season. When you bring back Courtney Parr, all the experience he had from last year, when Jabari Thornton is still playing at a high level just like he was last year, their defense is on another level. We talked about coming into the season, their young freshman, Edison King, that's been getting offers before the season even started to play down to high school football. Each and every week, this dude has gotten better. I think last week he capped it off with 3 or 4 sacks against Conley. I mean, this dude's only 15 years old. That's why he's already got offers from the Baylors and the Texas Tech and all these other places. But now when they're able to bring this all together, man, this La Vega team is going to be so good going back into the playoffs. What do you think about La Vega and them closing out another district title?
It's kind of what we expected. They played a tough non-district schedule, and people were kind of doubting them or whatever. But they did that for a reason because those are the teams and the teams that they'll see when district is over with. they always expect to win district. They're going to go out and play hard, but they already we expected them to win district.
Yeah.
Even though Robinson gave them their best shot last week, the week before that. But you expect these guys to come in and win district. That's what their expectations are. And these guys are looking forward to the playoffs, and it's going to be a long run for them because they've gotten better and better each week, and that's what you want to do as a football team. You want to get better and better.
And that's exactly what La Vega has done, man. Got to take hats off once again to the coaching job that's been done in La Vega. And it seems year in and year out, Coach Hyde is able to do this with packing that pre-district schedule, and it seems to always pay off when we get to this time of year. When it starts getting cold outside, La Vega seems to be rounding into form once again. They're going to close out another district title. Right there in their district, Robinson took out Gatesville 35-14. This was a statement game, in my opinion. This was kind of a toss-up between who's the second-best team in this division. Is it Gatesville? Is it Robinson? They were kind of right there behind La Vega. We saw Gatesville give La Vega a pretty tough game, and then Robinson almost beats La Vega. Now they finally match up against each other, and Robinson dominates from start to finish. What does this say about Robinson to you after this dominant win over Gatesville?
Man, hey, it puts them in line to do some things in the playoffs as well. Like we said, Gatesville came into non-district undefeated, and had some very high hopes. But the game is always decided on the field. And Robinson decided it on the field, and they decided that, hey, man, we got a 1,000, the leading rusher in Central Texas, in Evan Moreno, and we're gonna lean on him, and we're gonna go out here and we're gonna play football, and that's what they did. So the game is decided between the white lines, and they went out and they decided it between the white lines. A good Robinson football team that I expect them to go at least 2 or 3 games deep in the playoffs. Yeah. So, and they've continued to get better, even though they took a tough loss to La Vega. La Vega's a tough team.
Yes.
But they took them right to the last minute of that game. Was leading in the fourth quarter. So. They were very capable of winning that game. So I expect Robinson to continue to do the same things. And sometimes it's good to take a loss during the season, because then you refocus and you don't want to be in that position anymore. So I see Robinson doing some big things in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, Robinson is going to be live when they get into the playoffs. When you got a three-headed monster the way that they have with Dylan Medlock on the outside, Marino doing it again in Central Texas as one of the leading rushers, and then you add in Bryce McCurdy and the kind of special athlete that he is, man, this team is going to be dangerous going forward. And they really answered all the questions we had about them in this season. Can they win the big games? They've taken out Gatesville. Can their defense start getting stops? Because I believe it was the second game in district they played Lorena. Neither defense have really been playing well. Robinson's defense stepped up in a major way against Lorena. They do it again against Gatesville. They've done it against China Spring. Man, this Robinson team is going to be special. Getting into it. Wrapping up here in high school and in this District 12, China Spring gets a win and keeps their season alive against Lorena in double overtime, 49-47. This China Spring team is a team you just can't leave out. We've tried it multiple times this season. They had a tough non-district and lost most of their games in non-district. They get in the district and all they needed was a chance. They fell against the teams like La Vega or the teams like Gatesville, but when they in those toss-up games with Conley, we're in those toss-up games with Lorena, China Spring seems to find a way to pull themselves out, and they're still live on a chance to be able to make the playoffs. So China Spring, another good team in this district that I think once they get in the playoffs, I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah, anything can happen. Once you get in the playoffs, man, it's game for game, you know. So you, like I say, you take it one game at a time, and anything can happen. As the season changes, the element changes, and your team get better. So with China Spring having a lot of young players and a lot of young guys on their squad, I mean, those guys mature as the season goes on, and you make those adjustments to have those kids to buy into your program and to get better and better. And so everybody thought Conley was going to be that third team, but it looks like it's a young China Spring teams, and once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen, man.
Yeah, and they got something that travels. They can run the ball. They can run the ball. They got Krishan Gregory. Their offense can be explosive. We've seen it multiple times. If their defense can catch up with them as they get in the playoffs, man, China Spring is live once again. The Midway Panthers are on their way to be able to close out district. They've got to win this next game against Carpus Cove. They had a blowout win, 49-10 against Bryan. I think Midway, they lost their first game against Harker Heights early, but Harker Heights, I think, has picked up 2 or 3 losses now in district play. So Midway is in line to be able to close out and win their district, getting wins over Temple and over Shoemaker and over, if they can beat Cole this coming up weekend. I think Midway is one of the better teams in the Central Texas area, but they're just going to have such a tough road once they get into the playoffs because they're in 6A Division I. Your first week, you could play at Duncanville or DeSoto or Cedar. Week 1, there's no easy games.
There's no easy games, And that's what the playoffs are all about. One thing about Midway, they do have a 3-headed monster. They have a quarterback, receiver, and a running back, man, that's playing at a high level. And like, you just have to take it one game at a time, Jalen. But like you said, man, it's gonna be tough. But it can be done because anything can happen once you get there, man. You know, and good luck to Midway. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for a Midway squad this year.
Yeah, they all you got to do is line it up one game at a time at this point because you have a chance against everybody out there when you're in 6A Division I. There's not going to be any slouches. It's not going to be an easy game to start anything off. But Midway's got history of beating the South Lake Carriers before in the playoffs. They've beaten the Duncanvilles in the play. All you have to do is go out there and line it up, like I said, play it one game at a time and not try to look forward at, this next week we'll get these guys and next week we'll get these guys. So it'll start from Midway this weekend, closing out against Cove. That'll be big for them. Getting another district title again because this is a Midway team that just 3 or 4 years ago was winless in district, maybe 1 or 2 wins on the season. And now, since Joe Gillespie has been there, they made the playoffs last year. Now they got a chance to win another district title. So shout out to the Midway Panthers going to represent in that 6A Division I. Final game of the regular season is this weekend, folks. So make sure you guys are tuning in for Friday Night Flex. As I said, I don't know if we'll be here in studio, if we'll be on the road again, but we'll be letting you guys know that very, very soon coming up. I want to transition over to some college and some NFL football. As we know, the Cowboys are getting ready to play in about an hour. They're playing against the Cardinals that won't have Kyler Murray, so we'll talk about that game in just a second. But I want to start on the college level, Wayne, and I want to start with a little bit of Big 12. First, before we get into football, I got to ask you, man, what do you think about the Dodgers going back-to-back? I got my Shohei Ohtani hat on. I'm an Astros fan, but I'm a huge Shohei Ohtani fan.
I'm a Dodgers fan. When I played with the Chargers, I had my grandfather's brother worked for the Dodgers. He worked for him for over 35 years, and he was on the ground crew. And I went to a couple of Dodgers games during my time there. And, man, I absolutely love the Dodgers. I'm a Dodgers fan. So I am so happy what a great Game 7 it was, man. If you didn't tune in to see it, you missed something. I stayed and watched every pitch and every bat, and it was a great, great game. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Man, but what a great game, man, and congratulations to them.
Yeah, even to the casual fan like myself, this was probably the most, I mean, not for me because I'm casual, but easily for me, the most exciting playoff series I've ever seen in baseball.
The
13-inning game or whatever it was that lasted till 2 in the morning in game 2. Then you close it out in a multiple inning game like it was in game 7. I mean, what a great series. We saw fireworks from Shohei Ohtani. We saw Mookie Betts even getting some rhythm on the defensive side for the Dodgers. Their pitching staff, was
whatever
amazing.
the guy from
I can't even say his name, but he got the MVP for a reason. He pitched monster game.
He balled out, man, for real.
Monster game. So shout out to them, man. And I'm cool whenever the big teams are winning. I'm always cool with that. I'm not a huge baseball fan. I've told y'all before, but when the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Sox, whenever those teams like that can win, it's good for the sport of baseball,
man. That's a back-to-back. Back-to-back
First
for
one
the Dodgers,
since the Yankees, I think, in the early 2000s when they went back-to-back with Jeter and all them boys. So definitely shout out to them, man. And they built the squad. It shows you that the team can go out there and be built. The Dodgers built this it seems like almost overnight. They won in 2020.
$1 billion payroll, man.
$1 billion payroll with one of the richest owners in sports. I think he's the same dude who just bought the Lakers. He's the same dude. He just bought the Sparks. I think he's trying to. I don't think the Crockers are gonna come off the Rams.
He owns the Redskins.
Yeah, and the Commanders as well. Yeah, man.
Yeah, the Redskins. I call them Redskins, but Commanders.
I still call them that too. But no, man, a great playoff series there for the Dodgers. Shout out to the Dodgers going back to back. Let's jump over here into the Big 12 a little bit as we start in some college football. Before we get into the good games, I got to talk a little bit about Colorado, man, because we talked about it in the last couple of weeks on here. what do we see as the future for this Colorado program? Because
Man,
I don't even know what to think anymore. After 2 weekends in a row of getting blown out, by the second quarter, they're down by 40. 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I've never seen something like this. It seems like the players have given up. I don't know if the coaching staff is giving up. I don't know what's going on in Colorado, but they lost this weekend 52-17. What do you think about the future of the Buffs?
Man, it's gonna be tough, man. And I heard they're gonna start the freshmen this week, but it's been tough for them. I mean, especially when you come in with a lot of high expectations, and you don't meet those high expectations. You're way below that, and I don't know, man. It's just kind of feast or famine with these guys. They go out and they beat a Iowa State team that was ranked, and then they come back and play 2 teams that they possibly should have beat, and they underperform. So I mean, it's tough out there in Boulder, man. I don't know if the high altitude or whatever is getting to them or whatever it is, but man, they haven't been playing great, man. They haven't been playing good. I don't think it's the coaching staff. This was a team that was this week. Ray Lewis even came in and talked to him and tried to give him some encouragement and some motivate these guys. And if Ray Lewis is not able to motivate you and get you ready to play, then I don't I don't know what else you can do.
I don't know who is. If Ray can't get you guys going, I don't know what's going to happen with the future of this program. I think Juju Lewis, like you said, is going to start. So I guess he's burning his red shirt now. Kind of throwing that down the drain with him going out there and playing this late. I didn't expect him to get thrown into the lineup this late if you didn't start him. I would have went to him in week 2 or 3 if we were playing on burning the red shirt.
Because we're not even going to play in a bowl game. We don't even have a bowl invitation or going to get one. So I wouldn't really kind of burn that up. I just kind of play this season out, see who's playing hard for me, and see if I want to bring him back. Because if you're not going out and giving 100% and you're not playing for me, then I'm going through the transfer portal. I'm going out to get me new recruits, and I'm bringing some guys in that want to win. And that's what you have to do. Like I said, I don't know what the issue is out there, because it was supposed to be a team that was supposed to compete for the Big 12 title this year. And, man, they're nowhere near that.
Nowhere near it. And we're seeing that with a lot of the teams in the Big 12. It's kind of almost upside down when you think of Cincinnati and Houston being at the top of the Big 12, teams like that. Those are teams I had no expectations of being able to do that this year. But yeah, Colorado, man, I don't know what to think about this. I don't know if Coach Prime is going to coach next year at Colorado or not. Everybody's saying, yeah, he's going to stay, but I'm like, man, you losing by 30 and 40, and this is the most coaching openings that I can remember at blue chip schools in a long time, at least as long as I can remember. We're talking about Florida's open, LSU was open. Florida State might pop open. Arkansas is open. Auburn just fired their coach on Sunday.
Right, and all that's good and dandy. But if you're not winning, you're not getting one of those jobs. So you have to go out and prove. You have to have a proven commodity to go out and get one of these jobs. Last year, Deion's name was hot. If it would have been this many openings, you would have probably had some guys coming after him. But you're only as good as your team, as the team that you coach. And I don't think he's going to get fired or anything like that, because he's bringing it's too much money they're bringing into the economy, and Deion's a good friend of mine. But hey, man, it's tough out there in Boulder. I don't think I think he'll be there next year. So the only thing I think he can do is just to revive his team, and like I say, see who's playing hard for him this year, and if those guys are playing hard, I bring them back. Those guys that's not giving me 100%, you need to find you another school.
Yeah, you got to play at this point. You got to play a lot of freshmen and sophomores, because you got to try to keep these guys, because the transfer portal is going to be hitting your school in a major way.
And everybody wants to win. And
everybody going to try to get out of there.
And everybody wants to win. I mean, that's what it's about in college football. That's why guys are bouncing from school to school, because they want the NIL money for one, but then on top of all of that, they want to win.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big offseason for Colorado, because this is almost make or break at this point. After having a bad season, your first season was bad, but everybody gave you a pass. We saw the success you could have last year with Shador and Travis, But we see that Shador and Travis probably covered up for a lot of mistakes on that football team
no
last
doubt,
year.
No
When
doubt
you got
about it.
the Heisman Trophy winner and one of the top quarterbacks in the country, that covers up for a lot of mistakes. Without that, a lot of those flaws are starting to get shown out there in Colorado. So it's going to be interesting these last couple of games. Will they show any fight? Will Lewis play well as a freshman? So we'll see and keep our eyes on Colorado. Looking at the top of this conference in the Big 12, Texas Tech getting the win over Kansas State. Utah getting a huge win over Cincinnati. I think that was their biggest win of the season, probably getting that. And then Arizona State winning, but we saw Sam Levitt is going to be out for the rest of the season now. And they have a capable backup, probably the best backup in the Big 12 with Jeff Sims because he's got to be his 6th or 7th year of college football.
And he's got experience. And
experience
means a whole lot when you're talking about playing with these guys. You're talking about a quarterback that's 24, 25 years old going out there to play. So that means a lot. So we'll see what happens with them. But man, the Big 12 is BYU and
BYU and Tech are sitting at the top right now. Cincinnati tied with Tech as far as conference goes, but they got another loss in non-conference. So it's Tech and BYU sitting at the top of it. We saw Morton come back in the lineup this past weekend. That was a big question mark for me. It's like, okay, if Will Hammond's out for the season, is Morton going to be healthy enough to play? Came back, showed he was healthy enough to play, and they got back to doing the things that helped them blow out all these other teams. They were stopping the run, and they were running the football on the offense again to rush for another 200-plus games this year. Tech and BYU sitting at the top. Are we looking at that for the Big 12 championship, in your opinion?
I think so. I can't see anybody beating Texas Tech for the remainder of the year, and I can't see anybody beating – I think BYU has a game with Utah.
They got Tech left. They got y'all this weekend.
Okay,
then they got TCU,
Tech,
Cincinnati, and UCF.
Yeah. So the conference title is going to be determined this weekend between Tech and BYU.
Yeah, that's a huge game.
And that's going to be a huge game. And
I don't know how it didn't get moved to a night game because college game day is coming there.
For the first time. For the first time.
I'm like, man, how was this not getting moved to a night game? They still got the 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I've been getting text messages and emails about all alumni showing up and how they want all the ex-football players to be there. I'm telling you, I'm not going to be there, but I'm going to sure be watching. And I'm going to be watching and rooting for my boys and guns up to all the Red Raiders out there. And I hope we pull this one out.
Monster game this past weekend, or this coming up weekend with BYU and Tech. College game day is going to be there in Lubbock. I'm just mad it's still somehow it's at the 11 o'clock hour. I thought they would at least moved it to 2:30 or the 6 o'clock game. But somehow they still at the 11 o'clock. So we'll be up early getting ready to watch that. And I think that's probably the biggest game in the Big 12 this weekend, one of the biggest games in college football this coming up weekend. We saw Ohio State go out there and get a victory this weekend. We saw UGA hold out against Florida. Notre Dame getting the win. You know, the teams we expected to win. One team that was a toss-up game to me was that Texas and Vandy game. We saw Texas be able to pull it out. But still concerns raised, for me at least, at the end of the game. They were up by, 20-something, and then you let Vandy run off 20 straight points in the fourth quarter and almost come back and win this game this past weekend. But huge game for them to be able to close it out and to be able to win, getting a leg up, because it keeps their season alive.
It does.
Keeps their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, because, it's 12 teams that get in, right? And I can possibly see a two-loss team getting into those playoffs this year, especially with all the parity that's going on in college football and a lot of blue bloods that's been losing games.
Yeah, with that, man, with them being able to do that, I think it's going to be huge for Texas this coming up week. I don't know if it's this week. I think they have a bye this week, and then the next week they got Georgia. And this is a really good Georgia team. But it's not, the scary Georgia, 2021 Georgia, 2020 Georgia. It's not one of those teams. So you're still thinking in your head, they played them twice last year. Both games came down to the last plays of the game. They're playing, you have just as much talent as they have going out there. But that was a huge game for Texas keeping their season alive, because I thought Diego Pavia and those guys were going to be able to get them.
Yeah,
but that home cooking.
We both picked
Vanderbilt. We did.
I think. And for good reason. Vanderbilt is not a joke, but Texas was able to go out there and score some points on them, and Vanderbilt was able to get back into it late, but it wasn't enough time left on the clock to get it done, and Texas pulls it out, which, like you say, is big for them, because if you lose three games, you're out of it.
Yeah, you're done.
So they're going to have to run the table for their season to continue.
And that's where I run into issues with Texas because I think they are a good team, but I just don't know how they come out of Georgia and A&M with the win. They got to win both.
Yeah, and
I just
I
how
don't
they
see
can
it
come
either.
out of
I don't see it either. and I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's that's going to be a tough task.
Yeah, it's a tall task to be able to do that. You got Georgia, they get a break, and then they get Georgia this week. The game in Fayetteville or the game at Texas against Arkansas is not going to be an easy one either because we know the Arkansas-Texas rivalry is a rivalry game. And then you get to stay home again and play against A&M. And, man, that's just going to be a tough one. I don't see how they come out with a win versus Georgia and A&M at the same time.
I think Texas A&M is the best school in Texas right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I mean, as far as football is concerned.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd have to agree with that. They're sitting at the top of the SEC. Once again, the SEC is loaded. I'm looking at 8 teams ranked right now in the top 25, all covered for one conference. A&M's number 3 in the country. Bama's number 4. Georgia's number 5. Ole Miss number 7. Then you got Oklahoma at 11 and Texas Longhorns at 13. And then backdoor with Vandy at 15, Missouri at 19, Tennessee at 23. The SEC is loaded once again.
Loaded, man. Loaded.
The Longhorns are 5th in the SEC, and they're 7-2.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you're sitting at the top of your conference when you're 7-2.
When you're 7-2.
They're 5th place in the SEC. Yeah. That's how loaded the SEC is once again, with A&M sitting at the top of that. I want to look at this top 25 real quick. They just put out the most recent top 25 to college football. Or we're about to get to college football rankings, I think. I think this is still the AP poll. Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Alabama, and Georgia. In that top 5, me personally, I think A&M should have got a lot more votes.
I do too.
I think they should even possibly be number 1 because, in my opinion, they played a much tougher schedule than Ohio State.
Ohio State and Indiana.
And Indiana. Both of them teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Ohio State's biggest win so far is against Texas the very first week of the season.
Right.
And that was that Texas team is completely different than the Texas team right now.
And Indiana beat Oregon.
It beat Oregon.
Yeah, and then you got 2 teams from the Big Ten that's 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you should have a Southeast Conference team, 1 or 2, and I think that should be A&M.
A&M goes to LSU and beats LSU. They played Notre Dame early in the season, beat Notre Dame.
Beat Notre Dame.
Man, they beat Florida down, too, at that. I think Texas A&M has to get some recognition for being number 1. They only got 1 first-place vote, so that was kind of shocking to me. Indiana still sitting in front of them. And I like Indiana and Ohio State. I think they're both really good teams.
Yeah.
I think Texas A&M has just been through the fire a little bit more playing in the SEC.
Right,
Even the Florida team has got 3 or 4 losses, they're better than most of the teams in the Big Ten.
The thing that concerns me with Indiana is the same thing that happened to them last year in the bowl game when they did get in the playoffs. And, you play a tough team that's more physical. And so that kind of still hunts me with them. So I'm really not looking at them as far as being a number 2. I think they belong in the rankings. I think they belong in the top 5 for beating an Oregon State team. But, an Oregon team, University of Oregon. But I don't think they're number 2 in the country.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to sell.
I have doubts about it.
Yeah. When you're playing, I have doubts about every team in the Big Ten. I mean, shout out Ohio State for winning last year, but I got doubts about all of them. I think Ohio State's really good, but who have they played? They're not going to even play anybody until they play against Indiana in the Big Ten championship, in my opinion, because Penn State is down. Michigan is okay at best this year. Outside of that, you're just looking at Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State. The Big Ten, I think they're good, but it's nothing like what's going on in the SEC right now. I just listed all those teams that's ranked in the SEC, so I definitely think A&M should have got some more votes for the number 1 spot. This coming up weekend, still some really good games. We already talked about the BYU and the Texas Tech game. That's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's 8 and 9. That's ranked 8 and 9.
Yeah.
I think BYU is ranked 8th, and Texas Tech is ranked 9. A top 10 showdown, man. It's going to be rocking in Lubbock, man. I can tell you.
Been a while since 2 Big 12 teams have been in the top 10.
Man, I'm telling you, man. It's going to be rocking in Lubbock. I can tell you, man. I've been getting text messages all weekend. I'm telling you, man. Since Saturday night, talking about this game, and today and yesterday, talking about coming up there, man, and supporting. I won't be there. I'm sorry, but man, my heart will be there, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a huge game. I can't wait to watch that one this weekend because BYU is one of those teams, it's like they're good. I just feel like they haven't been tested all the way. Them beating Utah was a huge game for them. It's their biggest rival. We know Utah's a really good team as well. So them beating them was a good feat, but they're going to get the real deal test this weekend playing against Tech at Tech.
Yeah, they coming to the hole, baby. You're going to the hole. Man.
That game is going to be rocking. That's the 11 o'clock
high
game.
noon.
Yeah. Sun is going to be out, even though it won't be super hot.
Yeah.
The sun will be out. Fans are going to be out. They're going to be out there 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh,
so
no doubt,
they'll
man.
be good and lick it up by the time they get to that point. So it's going to be real loud when they get that 11 o'clock kickoff. This weekend, A&M playing against Missouri at Missouri. This is a huge game for A&M to keep their undefeated campaign alive. I like A&M in this game, but the 6.5 points is a little bit much for me because I think Missouri is a really good team and they're playing at home. You got to give them a little bit of a boost. But I definitely like A&M in winning this game.
Yeah, I do too. Coach Elko has got these guys playing great, man. And I just don't see anything changing. It looked like they're on a mission. And I think Missouri is in their way. So although they're playing in Missouri, it's going to be a tough game. But I think the Aggies will pull this one out.
Yeah, I got A&M being able to win this game this weekend. That's going to be a huge game as well to keep A&M season alive. Because if they lose a game like this, now it starts getting tricky in the SEC. Where do we put Bama? Where do we put Georgia? Where do we put Texas at? So it's a lot of questions that have to be answered if they lose. But I expect them to come out with the victory in this one. Bama is playing against LSU, and I know LSU has fired their coach, and everybody's like they're kind of out of it now. They're out of the running because they had that third loss you just talked about in the SEC. You get 3 losses, you're pretty much out of the college football playoff. But I think LSU is going to have a little bit of life coming into this game after just firing Brian Kelly because I wasn't a huge fan of Brian Kelly. According to all the reports, most of the players weren't a huge fan of Brian Kelly. The campus has been flooded. My youngest sister-in-law, works in the sports department at LSU. She said it's been flooded with former players since Brian Kelly has been fired from there. Everybody, because he had a rule where he didn't allow former players to come back and visit with them like that. A whole different feeling in the locker room
man.
now.
And as a player, that put it on the line for their school, man, you feel like neglected, man. Like, hey, man, like. I've been violated, man, in a sense because I've given to this school. I've given 4 years to this program, man, and kind of made it what it was and helped build it up. And then you tell me I can't come back, and that's one good thing about Texas Tech. You can always go back and you welcome and they gonna give you the. I mean they gonna lay out the red carpet for you. So. I think so. I think LSU is going to fight with Alabama, but I think the distractions and everything that's going on with LSU, Alabama is going to put it on them, but because there's too much chaos going on right now. And as a player, I mean, when things like that are going on, it kind of plays with your psyche. Now you got to listen to somebody different. You got to. Because I've been with a coach that got fired during the season, and you don't even focus anymore because everything changes. The whole schedule changes. The things that you used to do and that you did with this one coach, then this other coach come in and he trying to changes all of that. So you have to get acclimated to something new, and I think that's going to be too much of a distraction for LSU. And I pick Alabama to win big.
Yeah, I think Bama. I think it'll be close as it gets toward that third and fourth quarter, but that Crimson Tide, the fans are going to start kicking in. Some night games, going to be loud. Bama's going to start getting the rhythm going. Ty Simpson's been playing just as good as football as anybody in the country. Him and Fernando Mendoza from Indiana, those guys are really playing at the top of the line in college football at the quarterback position. I got Bama in this one, and I think they even have a chance to cover the 9.5 spread. It's coming down already. Started at 10. I'll wait to see if it comes down some more. But I think they'll be able to cover the spread because by the end of that game, just too much dysfunction on the LSU side for me to see them coming out with a win. Alabama's been playing too good of football for me to pick anybody else. So there's some really good games that's coming on this weekend at the high school and the college level. Want to touch some NFL before we get out of here today, folks. Like I said, Cowboys getting ready to kick off in about 30 minutes. I want to start with them before we jump into those games that happened yesterday. Cowboys favored by 3.5 in this game. I'll definitely take Cowboys in the points in this one. About 30 minutes ago, they announced that Kyler Murray will not be playing in this game. still battling the foot injury, I think it is. So for that reason, I'll definitely take the Cowboys in this one. Do the Cowboys still have a chance to be live and make the playoffs, in your opinion? They're sitting at 3-4-1 right now. Let's say they pick up a win here tonight. They're sitting at 500. We saw the injury last night to Jaden Daniels, so the Commanders season could be done. Nobody has any hope for the Giants. They lost Malik Neighbors and Cam Scatterbo.
Right.
Nobody has any hope for them. And the Eagles are playing decent football, but that puts the Cowboys sitting at the number 2 spot in that division. Do you still have a chance, in your opinion, to do something to make the playoffs this year?
I think they have a chance to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at the NFC, you got teams like San Francisco that's down, and you got teams like Seattle that's up. You know, Green Bay went and lost the game this weekend. Yep. Detroit, Chicago, and all of them. That you could possibly have 2 teams out of that division that go, but you're only going to have one team that comes out the NFC West, and that should be the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay, because San Francisco and
too much injury with San Fran.
Yeah. And then out of the North, the NFC North, you talk about Minnesota, Green Bay, and I think Minnesota went and picked up a big win. And you're talking about Chicago and Detroit. So you may have 3 teams that can come out just like last year. I think they had 3 teams. I think it was Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit.
Yep.
So you may have 3 teams, but then you go to the East, and you have the Cowboys, and you possibly have Philadelphia. I think those 2 teams should get in. And then when you go south, you have Tampa Bay. Just Tampa Bay. So the Cowboys have a great shot at getting into the playoffs. I don't think they'll make it for once they get in because they have to start playing better defense. They can score with anybody, and they can score with anybody in the league. But when you're out there playing just 7-on-7 touch football and you're just throwing the ball, it's going to be some teams that can stop the Cowboys a couple of times, but the Cowboys can't stop anyone. I think they played a great defensive game about 2 weeks ago, but that's been it on their part. Other than that, they hadn't been able to stop anybody. So they're going to have to do something different with their defense. I think they'll win tonight. They'll beat the Cardinals without a Kyler Murray. But they're going to have to get better defensively.
Yeah, but their defense, it just makes it so tough. Even in the game tonight, I'm picking them to win, but Jacoby Brissett played last week for the Cardinals and put up 30-something points. So if he can do that on somebody else, you definitely can do it on the Cowboys as well. So it makes every single game dangerous. And the thing with the Cowboys is going to hurt them and even hurt their chances to make the playoffs is if they do make the playoffs, they're going to be right at the fringe of that wild card, maybe in that 7th spot. But right along with them, they have already lost the tiebreaker to Chicago. They've already lost the tiebreaker to Carolina, who's 5-4 now,
and
with
Carolina
a better record than them. So
Yeah.
when they get to those teams that are going to be right on their friends with them, they've already lost their tiebreaker. So it's going to be tough on the Cowboys to win it. Like you said, the way their defense has been playing, every single game is live. Only reason I give them a chance to still make it is because I think the rest of the NFC East is going to fall off.
Yeah, and so to our boy Rocky Miller. You know, that's a guy that's on this show regularly.
Yeah, he should be here tomorrow.
Man, hey, Rocky. Your Cowboys, man, they out of there, man.
You might have a little extra added boost in energy now. Because they might have a win tonight. So if he come in tomorrow, he might, have a little extra added boost in energy.
You may get a additional game in the playoff, additional game after the season, but I think that's where they end. But now the Cowboys need to do something defensive-wise, man, if they want to be a player. And they have to win tonight. You have to beat another team in the NFC to kind of keep their record going. If they lose tonight, I don't think they'll make the playoffs.
Oh, no. If they lose tonight, you don't want to make it a must-win game this early, but it's going to be so tough for them to get to the playoffs.
Then you move a team up like the Panthers.
Who
beat Green Bay. You put them in there, and then they beat a team that's leading their division. So, man, Cowboys it's a must-win tonight for them. And every game is a must-win. But because you have Philadelphia, you still have to play. And the Cowboys are going to get everybody's best shot. It could possibly be the Cardinals tonight because the Cowboys, everybody want to beat them because they know they're going to be watched. They're going to be on national television. It's America's team. They give the Cowboys so much hype. And so as a player, you get fired up for that. And so you go out and you put on. So the Cowboys have to win this one tonight.
Yeah, this will be a huge one for the Cowboys. That game coming on in just a few minutes, folks. The Cowboys are already out there warming up right now, getting ready for this game. A couple other games that happened this weekend. One of them, Baltimore getting a win, getting back in the win column. Lamar Jackson, first game back in a long time, seems like most of the season, and they blow out the Dolphins. Do you give Baltimore a chance? So we just talked about the Cowboys being able to have a chance to make the playoffs. Do you give Baltimore a chance to be able to make the playoffs? They lost a lot of games at the beginning when Lamar was hurt, but now they're sitting at 3-5. We saw them playing in rhythm this past week. And the rest of their division is not doing anything outside of Pittsburgh.
Outside of Pittsburgh, who got a win this week. Mm-hmm. But I do see them getting in the playoffs. I think they'll go on a run and they'll win about 4 or 5 straight games. Yeah. So I could see them doing something because they had the players. And they're a team that went to the playoffs last year. Yep. And they were a team that was predicted to win it all. Mm-hmm. They just got to get back to doing what they're doing, and they got the MVP of the whole. Well, to me, was the MVP of the league.
Should have been MVP last year.
But he wasn't, and they gave it to Josh Allen. But this guy's tremendous, and if he can stay healthy and he can play, they got all the components you need to go out and. They can win. They still can win the Super Bowl to me.
Yeah, I
mean they're a dangerous
like
team.
Lamar.
They are a dangerous team. So I think they'll get in the playoffs, and I think they'll be one of those teams that we'll be talking about in January.
Yeah, I think they just got to get healthy. Now that Lamar is healthy, I think Roquan Smith is getting ready to come back. When all their big name guys, Marlon Humphrey, these guys start to get healthy and come back, they're going to be clicking at the perfect time. Like you said, I think they can run off at least 4 or 5 in a row. They got the Vikings this coming up week. I think they have a good chance of beating the Vikings against the rookie quarterback. Then after that, you got the Browns who they're going to destroy. You got the Jets who they're going to destroy.
Right.
You got the Bengals who can't stop anybody. And then after that, you're playing against your biggest rival in the Steelers. And at that point, you're going to be right there near the same record as the Steelers.
Right.
And you get a chance to play them twice.
Right.
So they've got a chance to really go on a big run right here and knock off some formidable opponents in the meantime, like the Steelers, like the Patriots still have near the end. Mm-hmm. And then they got the Packers and the Steelers to close out the whole thing. So the Ravens are going to be live moving forward. Seeing the way that Lamar is kind of taking command back. I like the story about this past weekend. As soon as he came off IR, he went into their training room and all that, and he had their equipment staff take all the TVs out. They took all the games out. He took all the ping pong tables out, and he said, we're not going to focus on nothing else but football. And I think that's showing leadership.
No, that's leadership, man. That's leadership. You know what I mean? You know, because that's all the luxuries you have as a player, man. Mm-hmm. It's like home away from home, man. You know, you can do just about anything you want to do when you're at that facility, man. They even got couches that let out. They got all kinds of stuff, man, where you can do whatever you want to do. And so for him to go and make that statement does show leadership and say, hey, man, it's nothing but football from this point on for the rest of the season. So let's focus on that.
That was big for me too. I think that shows a lot of leadership and shows that, hey man, he's trying to win. He hasn't forgot. He's not going to say, oh well, I got hurt this season, so maybe next season we'll go get him. No, it's football. Anything can happen. You can get hurt and you might not play for 2 seasons. So you got to go out there and take advantage of every moment. And I think Lamar is trying to do that right now, and the Ravens are definitely going to be live to do it. The Bills take out the Chiefs yesterday, 28-21. This was a really good game. Came all the way down to the wire, as these games always do. But I couldn't help but think, even after they won, I think Josh Allen is 4-1 against Patrick Mahomes in the regular season and hasn't gotten a win against him in the playoffs yet.
Right.
I think he's 0-4 in the playoffs. So even though the Bills get a win against the Chiefs, do you put them ahead of Mahomes? Do you think Allen got that monkey off his back just yet?
I don't think so. I think playing at home gives you a lot of energy, man, and then it just gives you a lot of energy. Mm-hmm. And I think them playing at home made all the difference in the world. They got some favorable calls, too, but you can't even really talk about that because Kansas City's been getting them for the last 3 years. So it's something that come back to hunt them. But I still think Kansas City is a better team than them. I think they just kind of had some things that happen. And like I said, when you play away from home, if you put that game in Kansas City, it's a whole different ball game compared to a game that's in Buffalo, man, which is rocking all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
I still think Mahomes and the Chiefs are a better team to me.
I like Josh Allen this year, and I think he's playing good. I just feel like their team just doesn't have enough.
Yeah,
On the defensive side of the ball, they give up big plays at times. On the offensive side of the ball, it's just Josh Allen or die. It's just do or die with him out there. James Cook will get active sometimes, but they really just living and dying with the performance of Josh Allen. And I don't think that's enough to win in the postseason.
Yeah. And I don't either. And like I said, it was determined. The game determines it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So Buffalo beat Kansas City, and they beat them. They beat them fair and square. And so how can you say this team is better than that team? Well, I think when you're at home and it's a lot of elements happen, there's a lot of things happen when you're a professional football player. But deep down inside, you lost by 7 points. You left a lot of opportunities off the board. So when you get those things corrected moving forward, and if you just look at the product that was on the field, I think Kansas City is a better ball club than Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I just don't trust those guys, and I always have to trust Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes until they show me otherwise. I don't think they're going back to the Super Bowl, but I can't count them out in any game in the playoffs or the regular season because they got Andy Reid and because they got Patrick Mahomes and Steve Spagnuolo and all these guys out there. So I think they're live for every single game. One game that was super interesting yesterday, the Bears versus the Bengals. The Bears, for one, they moved to 5-3. I think they've really turned their season around and kind of got me thinking about them in a different light than I thought at the beginning of the season. On the Bengals side, we saw Chase Brown in the locker room. It kind of went viral after the game. They were asking him about the game, and he says, "Hey man, we have to go out there and get an effing stop." That's what he said to the media. We have to find a way. The Bengals scored 14 points in 2 minutes, I think, in a minute and 50 seconds. They go out there and score, get an onside kick, which we know is hard enough to do, get all the way down the field and score again with 40 seconds left, and the Bengals defense still gives up another play. Joe Flacco was playing. You can't even say, well, if Joe Burrow was hurt. Way over his head. You can't blame this and say, well, Burrow was hurt. If he wasn't hurt, they would be doing this. Because the dude is putting up 40 points a game.
It's the same old thing with the Bengals. It's their defense.
Same as last year.
And if you don't make any kind of transactions to kind of help your defense, they didn't acquire anybody. The best defensive player was in a holdout. So you know what's going to happen. And then you go and you sign T. Higgins. And so what you're saying is we got to outscore everybody to beat them. But, man, trying to score – if you score 42 points in the NFL, you're supposed to win.
I mean,
man, it's the same old thing. They lost the game last year, 38-35.
Yeah, multiple. They had the record, I think, last year for most 30-point losses. Yeah. Like they scored 30 points and lost. I think they broke the record. Then the last 2 weeks with Flacco, first week with Flacco, they play the Steelers. They win 33-31. Next week they lose to the Jets, 39-38. This week they come out and lose 47-40. Everybody on the defensive side of the ball has to be fired. You got to fire Zach Taylor as a coach. I feel like he's had enough chances at this point.
Well, and the thing about that is he's responsible for his staff. So you got to do something different. And then the GM, whoever the GM is,
got to go.
He's got to go because your responsibility is acquiring players and putting those players on that and giving me something to work with as a head coach. I don't think it's so much on Zach Taylor. He's going to get the blame because he's the coach. Yeah. But it's that GM that acquires the players. Because Zach Taylor's an offensive guy, but his offense is going out there doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
It's the defense side of the ball that needs corrected, and it hadn't been in 2 years. It hadn't been addressed. And if they don't do something about it this year, they're going to continue to do that, even though you still have a Joe Burrow, even though you still have a Jamar Chase, a T. Higgins, a Chase Brown. You're going to suffer and you're going to lose ball games because you can't stop anyone. And if you can't stop anyone in the NFL, which has the best players in the world, the best athletes in the world on the outside, running back and quarterback, it's going to be a problem for you going forward.
And that's exactly what we're seeing. Joe Flacco couldn't have played any better. I know he's thrown a couple of interceptions, but the dude just got to the team. He was on a different team 3 weeks ago. Yeah. This dude just got to the team and has put up over 30-plus each and every game, man. It's sad to see the Bengals going out this way. I know T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, they probably don't mind as much because it's like, hey, we're going to lose anyway. But they getting their numbers. They putting up 100 each game. They getting 100 over 100 each and every week.
So now you just you just stat check.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's
so
all that's going on.
I want to get my bonus money. I want to go over
Exactly.
100 yards, and I want to get me a touchdown because now I got incentives that I'm trying to meet to get my paper.
Yeah, and I think they're going to hit all of them, man. But the Bengals, they got to do better. The GM has to go. You're like you said, the only good defensive player you had, he was in a holdout the whole year, the whole offseason. Yeah. You draft a first-round pick out at the edge. He's in a holdout the entire season. And then it turns out the dude can't play. You already took a chance on him. He had 2 sacks in college. I'm never drafting a DN in the first round that had 2 sacks in college. It doesn't even make any sense. They drafted dude. And the last couple of weeks, he's got...
The guy from A&M, right?
Yeah, Samar Stewart.
Yeah.
The last few weeks, he's got so much film of just getting the game last night, he's getting pancaked almost every single play. I'm like, this dude, he's just not good. Y'all whipped on another first-round pick. You can't...
And this is the thing about it. Trey Henderson, if you can get you a first and a second-round pick for him, you need to do that.
Yeah,
you need to do it. You need to do it. You need to tear that whole defense down. I mean... Because it just don't seem like anybody on that side of the ball can play.
Yeah, I don't see how they can. I mean, the way that they're losing like this, I can't trust the DBs. I can't trust the linebacker unit. I definitely can't trust the front seven either. So I mean, it's bad for the Bengals right now. They're in limbo. We don't even know what's going to happen. I just hope Joe Burrow doesn't come back this year. I know he was trying to come back and say, oh well, maybe we'll get.
It ain't gonna happen
back in the play. Yeah,
because they're not gonna have a chance to get to the playoffs.
They 3-6.
Yeah, the best teams in the AFC right now that's got capable records. You're talking about the Jaguars. You're talking about the Chiefs, and then you have 3 teams in the AFC: the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Broncos. And man, you got some teams. Then you talk about Pittsburgh, and I think Baltimore is gonna be relevant.
Indy got 7 wins.
New England.
Yeah.
So
England is nice.
it's gonna be
tough.
It's
a monster in the AFC. I don't know how they'll be able to come out with that one. Right before we get off here, looking at some of these surprise teams, I guess you could say, Indianapolis is 7-2 right now, even though they lost against Pittsburgh and kind of showed. I think you talk about this all the time, how the league is a copycat league. I think Pittsburgh has kind of showed the blueprint in the film of, hey, this is how you stop Indy, because Daniel Jones turned right back into the Daniel Jones that we've been seeing.
Indiana Jones, man. It was Indiana Jones yesterday.
Threw 3 picks in that game. Yeah. But they're still off to a great start. Denver, who I predicted before the season started to win their division, they're sitting right at the top of the division at 7-2, in kind of a surprise, you could say. And then what New England has been able to do with them being 7-2. Out of those surprise teams, any of those teams you think have a real chance to make it out of the AFC? Denver, Indianapolis, and New England, because we didn't see them winning 7-2 at this point.
I think Denver is a really good team, man, because what they can do defensive wise, and then they have a young quarterback that's capable of. He can use his legs and he uses his arm. He got a good receiver, got good running backs, and then you got a capable coach that can coach you through some things, and that's won a Super Bowl. So I think Denver out of those teams is good. Indianapolis is good. They both sides of the ball is good. Everything with them rides on their quarterback. And if you have quarterback play like you did yesterday, you're not going to beat anybody.
Yeah.
So what happens in Indianapolis depends on their quarterback. In New England, you got a mix of young and old players, and you got a coach that's capable of doing some things. So I think all those teams are capable, but the best shot I get at Denver.
Yeah, I agree. I think Denver definitely has the best shot of that. Indianapolis really has one of the most complete teams in the league, but their problem is if you put their quarterback in uncomfortable situations, he's going to lose you the game.
Because
we saw yesterday.
And what I meant to say is he's been playing like Indiana Jones, but now he went back to Daniel Jones from the Giants. And, man, so everything depends on their quarterback.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens with him moving forward, because when you have a game like this, man, it kind of plays with your head a little bit, and you be like, man, what happened there? I mean, so everything depends on their quarterback with what happens with them.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race as we get down to the final weeks here in the AFC, but definitely surprises when you think at the 3 of the division leaders, Broncos. It's been the Chiefs. I think they've won, 10 in a row in their division now. Indianapolis, no one expected that. And then New England, I think, has a good team, like you said, a good mix of youth and veterans as well. But the youth, I think, will eventually get them when they get into playoff situations of Drake May. And they have a really young receiving core outside of Stephon Diggs, and they got a young defense as well. So I think they'll be a good regular season team. But as they get in the playoffs, the experience of the Josh Allens, of the Lamar Jacksons, the Patrick Mahomes will be tough for New England to get past when they get it. But lots of good games that happened this past weekend, folks. We're going to talk more about it tomorrow on the show. We're out of time here today. We want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Also, MCC Basketball Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Friday Night Flex this Friday at 6 o'clock once again to close out the regular season here in Central Texas. Make sure you guys are ready to tune in for that. We'll be back here tomorrow. Rocky will come on here and join us, talk about his Cowboys if they get a win. If not, he won't be talking about the Cowboys. We'll probably talk about Colorado or something else. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. Like I said, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, right here on Centex Sports Network. Everybody have a great evening.
Peace.